Today we're going to be talking about adding and subtracting integers, something we've desperately got to get better at. So there's going to be a lot here. It's going to be a little bit different than what we've been doing recently. At least it's not about polynomials, but it's a foundation that we need in order to be able to work with the polynomials like we have been. Let's go to work. First of all, what are integers? If we're going to talk about adding and subtracting integers, we got to know what they are. Integers are positive and negative whole numbers. In other words, no fractions and no decimals. Okay, well, we like to work with those. Give you examples of integers. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, all the way to infinity. Yes? Also, negative. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and so on, all the way to negative infinity. Those are the integers. Now, what I'm going to teach you about today is dealing with signs. Many of us seem to have a difficulty dealing with signs, so I'm going to help you deal with signs. What signs? Positive and negative signs. Okay? Signs everywhere, signs. Now, everything that I teach you today is going to work for other numbers as well. It'll work the exact same, whether you're talking about integers or you're talking about fractions and decimals. But I don't want to deal with those today because I know how hairy you get when you start looking at a fraction and your face goes off. It's a fraction, oh no. But what I'm going to teach you works with fractions. It works with decimals. It's the same. We're just going to deal with integers today because that's all what we deal with when we're dealing with the polynomials. Okay, so first thing I want to do is let's get an example up here. 3 plus a -4. Now, the first thing I want to deal with is double signs. We don't like double signs. Okay, double signs cause confusion. So the first thing I want to do is get rid of them. I don't know. Is that how you spell rid? R-I-D, right? I'm not like crazy, am I? Okay, so we want to get rid of them. So there's basically 4 sets or 4 ways double signs can appear. You could have plus a positive. You could have plus a negative. You could have minus a positive. Or you could have minus a negative. Right? I'm going to put some numbers in there. I'm going to put 2 numbers. Give me a number between 1 and 10. 8. Give me another number between 1 and 10 that's not 8. 4. So here's 4 examples for us. Okay? 4 examples. So when we're dealing with double signs, I don't like them. For me, I always get rid of the double signs. Okay, now, I would like you to get so good at this that they don't affect you the way they are currently, but for right now, let's just get rid of a double sign. When we have double signs, we're not only going to get rid of them, but what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of a positive. See what I did right there? I got rid of the them and I put a positive. We're going to get rid of a positive sign. Okay? So, if I have 8 plus a positive 4, what am I going to get rid of? And everybody said a positive. Which one, Coach Herman? Doesn't matter. Whichever one you want. Whichever one floats your boat. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that one. In the next problem, 8 plus a negative 4. What do I get rid of? And everybody said, get rid of the positive. In the third one down, 8 minus a positive 4. What do I get rid of? Positive. In the last one, 8 minus a negative 4. What do I get rid of? And everybody said, what? There's no positive to get rid of, is there? This is the one time where there is no positive to get rid of, but guess what? Minus a negative becomes a positive. The one time that you can't minus a negative, when you can't get rid of a positive, that one becomes a positive. Are we good? Well, that seemed easy. That's the first thing. We got to be able to do that before I can teach you the next part. Are you with me? Okay. So, back up here to this first problem. What do I get rid of? Attaboy, positive. Let's go with a couple more problems here. Let's go 12, negative 12 plus a negative 4. What do I get rid of? Positive. 15 minus a positive 3. What do I get rid of? A positive. 23 minus a positive 15. Get rid of a positive. Negative 6 minus a negative 3. What do I get rid of? I make it positive. Okay. Everybody good with getting rid of the double sign? Okay. So if you got rid of the double sign, I want you to write this down on your paper. Same plus or positive, opposite minus or negative. Okay, put a nice big box around it. Let's make sure we set this thing off here. This is what we're going to talk about now. Let's get a little crazy here. Let's make sure you see it all. Right? Everybody good? I'm going to turn the page now. All right. I'm not going to talk about double signs. I'm not going to put double signs in for a few minutes. Okay? Because we've already dealt with the double signs, right? We don't have double signs anymore. Now, if no double signs the sign of your answer will be the same as your largest, and I'm talking about absolute value, number. All right. Time out. Who can tell me what absolute value is? Zyler? Anybody tell me what absolute value is? Absolute value is the distance a number is from 0. Okay, that's what absolute value is. It's the distance a number is from 0. Therefore, because it's a distance, absolute value is always positive. Okay, absolute value is always positive. So, what is the absolute value of 13? And everybody said? 13. And what's the absolute value of negative 13? And everybody said? 13. What's the absolute value of negative 56? Okay, it's always positive. So when I say the the same as your largest number, I get that 3 is bigger than -7. But what's out of those two, 3 and a -7, which one's the bigger number or has the bigger absolute value? 7. Okay? Are you with me? So when I say this right here, the same as your largest number, I'm talking about the one with the largest absolute value. I'm not going to keep saying absolute value. I'm going to say which one's your largest number in a second here, and you're going to be able to tell me. Are you with me? Okay. Enough of that. So now I have -3 and a -5, or -3 minus 5. I don't care how you read it. What is my largest number? 5. What is its sign? So my answer is going to be negative. If I had -12 plus 3, what is my largest number? 12. Again, we're talking about absolute value. So 12 is my largest number. Its sign is negative. So guess what? My answer is going to be negative. That will always be true the rest of the way. If we don't have double signs, whatever my biggest number sign is, when we're talking about addition and subtraction, that's going to be the sign of my answer. Are you with me? Okay. So now I had you write this down. This same plus and opposite subtract. Yes? Here's what that means. Now that there's no double signs, I look at my problem, and I've got a -3 and a -5. Those signs are the same. So what do I do with the numbers? I add them. 3 plus 5 is 8. So my solution to this problem is a -8. The next one down, -12 plus 3. My numbers, the signs of my numbers are opposite. Since they're opposite, I'm going to subtract. Now, here's the thing, and I'm going to show you in a second. Here's the thing. The thing about subtraction that gives us such a problem is when we try to subtract larger numbers from smaller numbers. For example, nobody has a problem with 5 minus 1. That's 4. But everybody has a problem with -1 plus 5. It's still 4. These two problems are identical problems, just written in a different order. We just changed the order of them. Do you understand? But if I said, especially to little kids, if I said, hey, you got 1 bottle of water there. That's good. Can you take away 5 of them? No. The kid's going to look at you like you're stupid. Like, duh, I only have 1. You can't take 5 from 1. To be honest with you, if we would just learn that as Americans, we wouldn't have so much financial difficulty. If we would just learn that you can't spend more than you have, our lives would be a lot better. Can I get an amen? Amen. So what I want you to realize now on this -12 plus 3, we all know that we're going to subtract. So instead of taking 3 minus 12, I don't know, 12 minus 3. 12 minus 3 is 9. Now, in this particular case, my answer is a -9. Why is it negative? Because the bigger number was negative. Are you with me? If you remember that about the bigger number being the sign of your answer, then you can always take the larger number and subtract the smaller one when you're subtracting, which will make your life a lot easier. Okay? Let me get rid of these here. Let's try a couple more. Let's go. -3 minus 5. Right away, I know my answer is going to be negative because my largest number is negative. I can see that my signs are the same. They're both negative. Since they're the same, I add the numbers. 5 plus 3 is 8. So -3 minus 5 is a -8. This looks so easy, doesn't it? Wow. Ready? Let's try this one. I got you. -16 minus 4. -16 minus 4. negative 20. 5 minus 8. Negative 3. How many people right there went 8 minus 5? Wasn't that easier? It's so much easier than 5 minus 8. Okay. Negative 16 plus 5. And everybody said? Negative 11. How do you know it's negative? Cam, how do you know it's negative? Whatever the sign of the bigger number is going to be the sign of your answer. All right. So now we did all that, and we had taken out the double signs. Let's put it all together. For example, let's say I have a negative 7 plus a negative 3. Oh no, there comes that double sign. Get rid of the double sign. Now my signs are the same, so it's going to be negative 10. 15 minus a positive 18. What do I get rid of? Positive sign. I always get rid of the positive. Now 15 minus 18. Negative 3. I know it's going to be negative because my larger number is negative, and then I can see that my signs are opposite, so I can subtract the larger number minus the smaller number. 18 minus 15. I know that sounds like a lot, but it should become very, very quick in your mind. Can I get an amen? Amen. Okay, Mr. Sable. Negative 8 minus a negative 5. He says a positive 13. Yes, ma'am. Negative 3. Great job. The first thing I had to do was minus negative. I had to deal with that double sign. Minus the negative becomes plus. Now my signs are opposite. So I'm going to subtract. 8 minus 5 is 3, and the larger number was negative, so negative 3. Yes? Okay. Let's go 7 plus a positive 4. Come on, if you miss this one, you're in trouble.
What, you want me to do it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so you cross it out.
Yep.
Okay. And then 7 plus 4. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Excellent. 11. 11. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Great job. All right, let's get a little more difficult. Let's go 13 plus a negative 21. Leo? Negative 7. Negative 8. Negative 8. Get rid of that positive. My answer is going to be negative because my larger number is negative. 21 minus 13 is 8. Is this helpful? Is this helpful? Okay. All right. I'm going to give you another opportunity, and I'm looking for 100% on everybody. You're going to have another quizzes. Let's get out our computers. Good job.